Keep yourself in the loop of everything football. Listen to Alex and Jeremiah on the Golden State Media Concepts Football Podcast.
Hello there, I'm Jeremiah.
I am Alex, always and forever here.
Dedicated to college and NFL football. The latest football news on and off the field. NFL draft trade rumors. We've got you covered from the NFL, Big Ten, SEC, Big 12, Pac-12, ACC, and everything else in between. Listen to the Golden State Media Concepts Football Podcast.
Thank you for tuning in to the Golden State Media Concepts Football Podcast, where we discuss the latest news, rumors, and games of the NFL and college football, from the latest signings to this year's breakout stars and all of the news in between. As always, I am Alex.
And I'm Jeremiah.
I'm back from a long weekend of no Friday show. I mean, it's not like it's a weekend, but no Friday show.
Yeah, I'm back from a kind of a semi-long weekend. I went back home for the
You go to that
weekend.
game?
I did. I went to the Fresno State and
Who won that game?
Fresno State 31-3.
Dude,
It was actually a competitive game for 3 quarters. It was 10-3 at the end of the third quarter.
I was say 31-3.
And then I was like, okay, so this might be a competitive game because I planned on leaving at the fourth quarter, but I was like, whoa, this is kind of a competitive game, so maybe I should stay. Then all of a sudden, Fresno State scored 2 touchdowns, and then I wanted to beat traffic, so I was like, hey, let's go, guys. But I don't know. I'm not going to lie. I was kind of confused to root for because, I did go to Sacramento State, but I grew up a Fresno State Bulldog fan. Mm-hmm. Either way, I was happy, but I don't know. I just had fun. And I'm just glad to be back in Northern California because the weather is a lot cooler here.
Yeah, it was warm yesterday. It's a little colder today.
It's because when I was at the game on Saturday night, it was hot, and this is in Fresno at 7 o'clock p.m., and I didn't get out till like 10 p.m. All right, so it was hot. When I
Fresno
came back,
stays hot too, especially the way the bowl.
Yeah,
is,
I know,
especially
the stadium. Yeah, but when I got back to Sacramento from the Amtrak station,
Oh yeah, Amtrak. Okay.
Yeah, I took Amtrak. I didn't drive. It was cool. At around 7 o'clock, I was like, dang, I almost needed a sweater. But anyways, dude, it was a really exciting weekend and all football. NFL started. We got a couple of, college football was a little crazy.
It was okay.
It was a little crazy.
It wasn't as crazy as week 1, but it was good.
We had a Play of the Year candidate in there.
We did.
But anyway, let's get started with some NFL talk because
Excuse me.
We finally had some games to cover now. Finally.
Yeah. So obviously you guys got to talk about Denver and Carolina, but that game, I was telling Ben in the sports show, really set a tone for close finishes this week.
It did. Honestly, no, that game alone set the tone.
Yeah, that's
for
what I'm saying, man.
Yeah,
whole week.
The whole week, man.
So
it's crazy.
Go ahead. Sorry. I was like, oh, wait.
No, it's crazy, yeah.
So Atlanta lost by 7 to Tampa Bay, 31-24 Atlanta. So that's a close game right there. 6 points between Baltimore and Buffalo, at home for Baltimore, 13-7. Houston, a little bit more, 23-14 over Chicago. Jacksonville, 4 points, losing at home to the Packers. It's a close game. A crazy win for the Chiefs, winning 33-27 in overtime. 1 point separated New Orleans at home over Victor Oakland. 1 point separated the Jets, losing at home to Cincinnati. The biggest loss of the week, 29-10. Philadelphia over Cleveland. 2 points, Seattle beating Miami and CenturyLink Field, 12-10. 1 point, 19-20, Dallas loses at home to New York. 4 points, Indianapolis loses a close one, very close. Like, that was a crazy ending. At home to Detroit. And another close one, missed field goal at the end to end the game. Arizona 21, New England. Jimmy Garoppolo led New England 23.
Jimmy G starts out 1-0, baby.
Man, how many? That's almost every game was close.
Dude, you have no idea. This was probably the best opening weekend I've ever remembered in a while.
Yeah,
a long
this
time.
is the best that I remember in a while. Yeah.
Yeah, and I'm gonna get to this Arizona and New England game.
Is that your game? Is that your favorite?
No, that's not my game.
So I figured we cover a couple.
That's actually my second favorite game of the week.
Okay, so what Jeremiah and I will do, we'll cover a couple.
This was on the
favorite.
Friday show. Mm-hmm. I told Ben, This is my lock of the week. Arizona will defeat New England.
Oh, your lock of the week, huh?
It was my lock of the week. Because Ben had New York Giants defeating Dallas Cowboys handily.
I told him.
I know I had Dallas too, and I told him it's gonna be a close game.
Mm-hmm.
I was half right, but anyway, get into these Arizona and New England game.
Good game,
man. I imagine how the Patriots are gonna look with just Brady and Gronk back alone.
Yeah, they had him. They had both of them gone. Solder gone.
And Deion Lewis is gone. Man, this team's honestly, this is my Super Bowl team in the AFC this year. And the Cardinals were my NFC team to go to the Super Bowl. So this could be a Super Bowl rematch in February here, man.
I so don't want the Patriots in the Super Bowl again.
I don't get me wrong. Like, the way that they play with the amount of players they didn't have there, dude,
they played well, really well.
They can the next 3 games for New England, Miami, Houston, and Buffalo. They can, and they're all at home. They can start 4-0 without Brady. That's crazy.
Yeah, you and I definitely talked about this being the hardest win for them to get of the 4 games.
I didn't see them win this game at all, and they did it.
Yeah, it was a good game. It really is. I don't think they have again, you never know with these division games with Miami next week and so on and so forth. But I don't really see them losing potentially until maybe the Buffalo game the week before Brady comes back. That's man. It was a close game. It was a good game too. Bad snap at the end of the game. Somebody was rushing from the right, kind of a push to the left. Just missed kick. They very much. It's not that they won this game handedly. They very easily could have lost it, and it's just unfortunate for them to miss that kick at the end of the game.
Yeah, and very fortunate for Arizona. They played a heck of a game. Larry Fitzgerald got to 100 career touchdowns last night.
He's on my fantasy team.
And then
I know.
There's reports of Larry Fitzgerald saying that this might be his last year.
He denied him.
And he denied it earlier this morning, which I'm really glad. I would hate to see Larry Fitzgerald go because I still think he has a couple of good years left in him. Mm-hmm. But my game of the week.
Give me your game of the week, and I'll give you mine.
My game of the week has to be the Oakland Raiders defeating the New Orleans Saints.
Yeah, man.
This was my upset of the week on Friday. I had the Raiders.
I don't know if it's an upset anymore.
No, not anymore.
Well,
but
I'm saying going into the season, I would have pegged them as pretty even.
Yeah. See, I had the Raiders defeating the Saints because the Saints were favored in this game, and it was at the Superdome. Yeah. And I talked to this on the Friday show with Ben.
Yeah, Ben was telling me,
and he questioned me about the Raiders defeating the Saints.
Well, he did have the score pretty close, though.
He did, and he questioned me, and I was like, "How dare you?" Now I was right. No, but
I think I picked the Raiders to win this game.
I did. I picked the Raiders to win this game.
You see that dive by Derek Carr, man?
Dude,
over.
Dude, I was like
a monster.
I remember he did something. He did a similar play like that when he was at Fresno State too. Mm-hmm. He did that against Nebraska a couple years ago. I think that was his junior year. He did it. But yeah, that play reminded me of that.
Never see David do that.
David can't do that. He's not that kind of guy. David wasn't mobile, all right? Derek is mobile. All right, anyways, getting back to...
Derek is mobile.
Okay, anyways, getting back to this Raiders and Saints game. Dude, the Raiders, they were down 24-10 at one point. They had that. They allowed that 98-yard touchdown to Brandon Cooks.
He's fast.
He is fast. And but this game had everything in the fourth quarter. The Raiders just came back with fire. The one thing I will say, though, about the Oakland Raiders is, man, I don't know if they can win this division with that defense.
Well, see, my thing is I think that defense is going to get better. You look at it on paper, it's very good. The front seven's good. The secondary is very improved. I think they had a tough matchup week 1 against Drew Brees, who's a great quarterback, right? Good, stable offensive playmakers. I think that was tough for them week 1. I think they are going to get better as the year goes on, right? But still, there's some they need to be fixed a bit. But I think they're better than this game showed. I do think that at least. I do understand what you mean, though. Yeah, but I do think they will get better.
And then that defense had worried me. Like I was so hot on defense, like around I think May. But the way I saw them play in the preseason, I was really worried about how they were going to perform. Mm-hmm. I wasn't worried about the offense at all. Like, I really do think
they look great.
Derek Carr and everybody, they're for real. It's just that the defense worried me. But I do agree with you, Alex. I do think this defense is going to get better every game, and you never know. I still see them as a wild card team. I don't think they're going to win the AFC West. They can compete for it, but I don't think they're going to win it because the Denver Broncos, they're just they're still good with that defense, and
they played well still,
and they have a running game now, and that's scary.
Mm-hmm.
So, and then the Chiefs, you saw what they can do with the San Diego Chargers to coming back.
And the Chargers look a little better this year. They do.
But
I'm not saying they're going to compete. I'm just saying
they do.
Division's tough.
Yeah, this division's tough. So, man, this is going to be one of the funnest divisions to watch this year.
Well, the Raiders, they have Falcons next week, so that's a deep offense that can put up points. We'll have to see how they, very similar to how the Saints play.
It's going to be another shootout, man.
We'll have to see how they can adapt.
Yeah, another shootout. But anyway, what was your game of the week?
I would say my game of the week, see, as a fan, it hasn't happened yet tonight, obviously.
Oh, my God. My game hasn't happened yet either, but we'll get to that later.
Yeah, that's going to be – we'll preview that when I'm done here. I'll ask you one more question, then we'll preview it. I would say the Oakland one's definitely up there. I would say game of the week in terms of pure just competitiveness, maybe the Indianapolis-Detroit game.
Yeah, that was a fun game at the end.
That was a crazy game
at the end. It was
fun. The Colts go up, I think, under a minute. They take the lead at 35-34 or something.
Yeah, they took it with less than a minute to go.
Yeah, and Detroit ended up coming back and well, actually, no, hold on. What? Because they can have kicked a field goal. It's 39-35. I was watching it from a restaurant. Like I told you, I was out of town this weekend.
Yeah, the Colts made it 35-34 with 37 seconds to go.
Oh yeah, and they didn't get the ball back.
Matt Prater, had that 43-yard field goal at the end of.
Yeah, that's what it was. So they pushed the lead. I mean, Prater's he's a cocky little guy,
I know, man. Yeah,
man, he's all out. He made a long field goal. He really did.
The thing that really did speak to me about this game, though, the way that the Lions performed in the red zone.
Yeah, right?
Yeah. Like, there were so many concerns about how they were going to perform from the 20-yard line and on without Calvin Johnson. Dude, they're going to be all right. They are going to be all right. They have a really good mix of running backs there, and Amir Abdullah and Theo Riddick.
Dude, I told you, I drafted Theo Riddick in my fantasy league. You're like, why'd you draft Theo Riddick?
Well, it's a PPR league.
Mm-hmm. I always draft Theo Riddick, bro. I mean, that guy got me the most points of any of my running backs, save for D'Angelo having to play tonight.
He's a free agent in my league, but it's a standard league, though.
Oh, okay, so you don't get points for okay, yeah. If you have a PPR league, dude, that guy is money.
Oh, I would have got him already.
He's got on my team. He has the most points for a running back, excluding D'Angelo has to play tonight. But then I'm just saying all my running backs have to play. You know what I mean?
Well, we're not going to get too into that. This is the fantasy football podcast.
No, I know. I'm just saying, like, that guy's money. So, obviously, he's a big weapon in the offense. So, that offense, they looked great in the red zone.
Yeah, really and did. Matthew Stafford, 31 of 39. That is crazy. Mm-hmm. Both of these quarterbacks, this was a good game for both of these quarterbacks.
Yeah,
and Matthew
for
Stafford.
Everybody that thinks maybe Luck still was coming along slowly from that injury and stuff. His preseason looked okay, but not great. He looked really good.
Yeah,
and he looked like what you want. I mean, put a team around him, and that team, put a defense around him, and that team is on fire. You know what I mean? I was talking about it with Ben. I was like, can you please put a defense around this guy? He's gonna kill himself trying to win these games for you. You know what I mean?
They need a defense around him, man. Because
it's a Peyton Manning all over again.
Think about it.
31 for 47, 385, and 4 touchdowns, no interceptions.
Yeah, and it's crazy. Andrew Luck, he's not going to get any younger, guys. Come on.
Yeah, it's like Breeze. Help him out. He threw for 4 touchdowns and like 400 yards, and they lost. He threw for 385 yards and 4 touchdowns, and the Colts lost.
The Colts are lucky they're in a weak division. They are so lucky.
Yeah, you could say that. I mean, they put up 35 points. Like I said, he threw for 4 touchdown passes, almost 400 yards, and they lost.
Yeah.
Now, albeit the Lions, I mean, he threw for 340 and 3, and they scored just as many points, and that was a close game. But, I mean, one of those teams, they need some defense. That was just a no
Both of these teams need defense.
This was a good week, too. There was good defensive games.
And there was
7-13. There was 12-10, and there was, even though that 12-10 game, the Seahawks game was kind of weird. There was good offense.
Honestly,
they I'll get to
that game.
They Seahawked themselves.
Yeah, That's
what they do. You do nothing great, and you end up winning.
But
it kills me.
But yeah, man, they need a defense in Indianapolis because Andrew Luck.
It's like Peyton Manning all over again, man.
His arm's gonna fall off like in 4 weeks if he keeps going like this.
4 weeks.
I'm like, dude, Oh my gosh, like whatever. Let's just move on. That's all I gotta say. But anyways, I want to get to that Seattle and Dolphins game.
Mm-hmm.
Dolphins.
That was one of my more disappointing games.
They should have won that game because
that's what I'm saying, man. They
themselves. Kenny Stills dropped an 80-yard pass from Brian Tanner. You got to be kidding me.
That was just weird. He let it come into him, and it was like I don't know what a good example. It park slide out. You know, it went up and in and out of his hands.
Yeah, and I'm like, how do you not catch it? It was in your hands. First of all, you ran past probably the best secondary in all football.
Earl Thomas did not play well yesterday.
Yeah, you're right. He didn't.
Not really.
But you know, on paper, they were like regarded as the best secondary in football.
Yeah.
And blowing everyone by like that, dude, you gotta make that play for your
Especially
team.
Kenny Stills. I mean, he's good, but he's not the notable receiver on that team. Landry is, you know. And yeah, if Stills had that catch, I mean, he ended the day with 1 for 16. He would have been like 2 for 90. You know, that was a long play, and you gotta
help your quarterback Ryan Tannehill, and then the Dolphins. I just don't know what it is. They just can't take a step forward. They can't win big games. They can't take that step forward, man.
No, they can't. He only had 186 yards passing, no touchdowns. I mean, they could have easily won this game, like you said. Arian Foster in his debut played well. He had 30 yards on the ground, but he had 3 catches for 62 yards receiving. So. That is nice to see, but not much from anybody else. I mean, like I said, Landry had 59 yards. Damian Williams had a 29-yard catch, 1 though. Kenny Stills, 1 catch, 16. You know, obviously dropped that big one. Carew is a new receiver there for them, 2 for 14. And Jordan Cameron, who's supposed to be a big target for them when they got him in free agency, 2 for 6.
He's been really disappointing.
Not even 1 for 6, 2 for 6.
No, he's been really disappointing. Yeah. Really disappointing for the Dolphins there.
Yeah, 2 fumbles, one by Foster, 1 by Tannehill. They got a couple of them back, but you need more out of your offense than that. You know what I mean? Their defense didn't play horrible, like you said. They held the Seahawks to 12 points. Russell Wilson didn't have an amazing game. He ended up getting hurt, unfortunately, it looked like an ankle sprain. I have Rodgers in both my leagues to back him up, so I'm good. You know, but Russell Wilson.
I had Doug Baldwin on my fantasy team. Yeah, and he scored a winning touchdown.
Yeah, there you go. But he had 258 yards, a touchdown, and an interception, though. He didn't have that touchdown until late in the game, like you said, to Baldwin. Baldwin had a pretty good game. Like, he carried on from last year.
Yeah, 91 yards and a touchdown.
92 yards.
92 yards.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
92 and 1.
There you go.
Jermaine Kearse had a decent day, 5 for 27, but after that, again, another drop-off, 2 for 26, 3 for 26, 3 for 17. And then a lot of people with 1 catch, except for Christine Michael, had 2 for 5. I didn't think it could be worse than 2 for 6 with Jordan Cameron, but it did. But yeah, their defense didn't play great.
Whoa, I'm going to tell you this right now. With the Cardinals and Seahawks losing tonight, after tonight's Monday night game,
somebody's going to be in first place.
The Niners or the Rams are going to be in first place in NFC West.
If you look at it like the NFC North, everybody but the Bears won. So there's 3 teams that tied first. Literally only 1 team will have a win in this division.
That's right. We're already talking about first place people, and it's only week 1. All right, I want to talk about one more game before we head into our break.
Yeah.
The Packers and Jaguars, man.
That's a good game.
This was a really good game. And, man, the Jaguars, I really thought they were going to take the next step in this game. They were
right on the brink. It's just some tough 4th downs there.
Yeah, they had a chance to win this game. But, you know, Blake Bortles kind of forced it to Allen Robinson a bit at times, which I don't blame him because, you know, that is your big play
Him and
receiver.
Allen Hurns, too.
That is your big play receiver, and Allen Hurns is there for, you know, to be a compliment. Who is also a great receiver on this team.
Oh, I got him on my fantasy team.
Yeah, I wish I did. I don't have any of them.
He had a decent day yesterday. Not amazing. Yeah. 75 yards on 3 catches, I think. My league is really one of those that jumps every time you get over 100, so I was really hoping he would. But no, it was a tough game. But that was one of my favorite games to watch, too. I mean, it was a close game. A couple 4th downs. One went your way, one didn't. Yeah, it was right there. Dude, I have him on my fantasy team.
He had a great game.
Yeah, he did. He's a high-scoring tight end in fantasy football, I think, this week.
Again,
save for any tight ends tonight.
He's the only tight end that scored double digits this week.
Yeah, again, save for tonight if any tight end goes off.
And, you know, the Jaguars, they're leading 17-14 in the second quarter. But, man, that pass from Aaron Rodgers to Devontae Adams, man, how do you even do that, man? Wow.
Man, Rodgers does stuff I've never seen quarterbacks do.
Yeah.
Remember that one he was like falling down and he threw a touchdown? It was called.
He's like a wizard, bro.
It was called back for holding on the offense, but he was like being dragged down and he was off, like going down, falling, and he threw a touchdown in the back of the end zone. Like, I don't question stuff he does anymore.
No, I don't either.
But that was a good that was a good game.
You can't question You can't question A-Rod.
No. So a question for you. What I did mention this before we started, and we'll do this real quick. We'll come back. We'll preview the Monday night, and then we'll get into the AP stuff. But what was your favorite moment of this week?
My favorite moment
of the weekend of football.
My favorite moment of the weekend probably has to be Alex Smith getting the game-winning touchdown for the Kansas City Chiefs. Man, that was probably.
I love that dude.
I miss him in San Francisco, man.
I would if I was.
I miss him in San Francisco. It's so crazy that. But yeah, man, I was really happy for Alex Smith. Mm-hmm. He started off that game so slow.
That's Alex Smith for you.
But he put the team on his back, threw for more than 260 yards, game-winning touchdown
on the ground.
On the ground, man. I'm telling you right now, if for all you guys that were off Alex Smith as a quarterback in this league, you can't do it.
Don't do it.
You can't do it anymore.
He's that level of elite where he's not like elite, like he's going to win the game for you every time, but he's a great player.
Yeah.
He's going to help you win games. 415 on the ground, like you said, 363 and 2. That guy's a monster, man.
Yeah,
he plays the right way. He doesn't make mistakes. He helps you win games. The reason they helped win this game is because he knows how to be consistent and help you move the ball. You know, it's like watching. I'm a Washington State fan, right? They ended up losing again to Boise State, but that's a close game, right? If they had 2 chances for field goals. If they kicked it, not only would they have ended up tying the game instead of trying to win it late where they were down 3, they would have been up by 3. They just refused to kick field goals. It's like with Alex Smith and Andy Reid, they know when to just take the points. Get the points. You know, you don't know how the game's going to shape out. Fumble, an interception. Get the points when you can because it matters. It always matters, you know? And that's how Alex Smith is, and I love it, man.
Yeah, man. And I'm going to tell you something right. There was a tweet I saw a lot yesterday.
Okay.
It said, so Michael Crabtree scores a winning touchdown fade, which was a 2-point conversion, that was wrong. But anyway, it still won the Raiders the game. Alex Smith scores a winning rushing touchdown, and the Niners will be starting a game with Blaine Gabbert tonight. I was like, wow. Boom. So it is so crazy that 2 players from the Niners 4 years ago, 2 important players that is, pretty much got game-winning scores for their teams.
Remember one of the Super Bowl trying to win the game for the Niners, and the Super Bowl was a fade to Crabtree.
Yeah,
maybe they should have had Alex Smith.
I got a question for Crabtree. Where was that 4 years ago, man? Come on.
He got overthrown, bro.
I know.
He got a jump ball to a fade.
I know.
Ball.
I know. I'm just throwing that out there. But anyways, man, I love that performance from Alex Smith yesterday, man.
What about Spencer Ware, man?
Spencer Ware,
70 on the ground, 129 receiving. My brother had him in fantasy. Come on.
Man, I'm afraid to say that maybe Jamal Charles' days as a workhorse may be coming to an end.
I think it's just smart because he's been injured to maybe bring him in and still split the time.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? He's obviously a game changer, but have him play, you know, have Sharkhandrick West play, have Nile Davis play. Like, just don't always put it on him because, you know, if he gets injured, you clearly have a stable, but he's something different. You know what I mean? It's all these guys, but then there's Jamal Charles.
Yeah, that was my favorite moment of the week.
Okay, I'll be quick with mine before we take our first break. Mine was Victor Cruz scoring his first touchdown.
Oh, that was another one.
Over 2 years.
That was my second favorite moment. Yeah.
He got asked to did you plan on doing the salsa dance? He goes, it's just a reflex, man. Like I score, I do it. I've always done it. He goes, I didn't sit there going, oh, I'm gonna do this. He goes, I just got back. It was muscle memory. And I like that, you know. That was nice. So it was good to see him finally back in the end zone and get movement. I mean, there was a great game from all 3 of their top receivers. Again, I have Odell Beckham Jr. in my fantasy league.
I did get a touchdown.
Didn't get a touchdown, but he had a good game. Victor Cruz had a good game. He got a touchdown. Sterling Shepard had a touchdown.
I have
nice
him on
catch.
fantasy team too.
You did say you were going to get him. Yeah, good catch. So, a lot of that. And then I think number 2 probably would have been, besides like all the touching tributes and stuff for September 11th before the games. I don't want to get all emotional. With my moment, I would say maybe the Derek Carr's flip. That was pretty cool.
That was pretty sick.
That flippity flip.
That flippity flip.
Yeah.
Derek Carr was like, catch you guys on a flippity flip.
And he jumped right over him.
Like I said earlier, that reminded me of a play he did back when he was at Fresno State against Nebraska. He scored on that play, too, when he was at Fresno.
Man, you got to give it up to get it. You know
get it up to get it, man. That's why I love Derek Carr. He's
a go-getter.
Dude, he was meant to play quarterback. It was amazing.
I love it.
Yeah.
Okay, let's take our first break. We'll come back real quick. We will just preview times and everything and matchups, who we think are going to win. Because unfortunately, I didn't get to do that with you. I'll have to do that with you on Thursday this week of preview, predicting the games. And you and Ben can do it too.
Yeah.
But we'll predict tonight's Monday night games. So we'll be right back here at the Golden State Media Concepts Football Podcast.
Tired of searching the vast jungle of podcasts? Now listen close and hear this out. There's a podcast network that covers just about everything that you've been searching. Hey! The Golden State Media Concepts Podcast Network is here. Nothing less than a podcast bliss with endless hours of podcast coverage. From news, sports, music, fashion, cooking, entertainment, fantasy, football, and so much more. So stop lurking around and go straight out to the Golden State Media Concepts Podcast Network. Guaranteed to fill that podcast itch. Whatever it may be. Visit us at www.gsmcpodcast.com. Follow us on Facebook and Twitter, and download us on iTunes, SoundCloud, and Google Play.
Welcome back to the Golden State Media Concepts Football Podcast. And guess what, guys?
What?
Week 1 is not over yet. We got 2 games tonight.
We got a back-to-back or a double-header.
Yeah, back-to-back like Drake, dude.
Yeah, man. So, obviously, the first game tonight is going to be Pittsburgh at Washington facing the Redskins. That's on the East Coast. That's going to be a 7:10 start. Here it's going to be 4:10. It's going to be a pretty good game. As you guys know, I'm a Pittsburgh Steelers fan. Doesn't mean I'm a complete homer. We talked about on the last show, it's frustrating being a Steeler fan for me because of all these injuries and suspensions.
It's frustrating being a Steeler fan.
I'm saying you have the potential, right? All that you could be the best offensive team in the league, and then everybody gets hurt or gets suspended.
I'm going to tell you what team to be frustrated in the moment.
Oh, you will. Yeah, you will. Yeah. But so I do have them winning this game, but I am realistic when I pick these games. I'd like last year. I didn't know if we could have beat the Seahawks. I thought that was going to definitely be a close game, and we ended up losing really closely. But I'm not unrealistic. I don't pick them every week. You know what I mean? So don't think that. Washington is a good team. They won their division last year. They have a position in which the Steelers have struggled with in the past, and that's guarding really athletic tight ends. You saw Gronkowski go off in the season opener last year, and I would say the defense is more improved this year, but still, it's a problem. The running attack looks to be better with Matt Jones in year 2. The receivers are still good. You have Crowder, you have Deshaun Jackson, you have I can't think of his name. Pierre Garçon.
And you got Josh Doxson.
Yeah, well, see, he was on the injury report, too. He hasn't been cleared to play yet. Yeah. And that's another thing is Marcus Wheaton's out this week, too.
Yeah.
So now you have Ben, Brown, and D'Angelo are really your only big targets of that big offense. And now that's a lot more than some teams, which you'll get into in a minute with the Niners, that's more targets than some teams have, in that aspect. But that worries me in that sense. It's not a easy win for them. The defense is better. They have Brashad Breeland. They have Josh Norman now. Ryan Kerrigan. They have good players on the defensive side of the ball. They have Fuller. They have the young Fuller kid. Is it Kyle? Because Kendall's someone else, right?
Yeah, Kyle.
Kyle.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, maybe it's Kendall. Maybe Kyle's the one in Chicago. Either way, it's one of the Fuller brothers.
It's one of the Fuller brothers.
And
I know it's confusing because they're both their first name starts with K.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So that's it's not like it's going to be an easy win. Obviously, I think the Steelers defense is not very great, but it has a good front seven. And they're opportunistic. We saw that in the Charger game last year. It's not a good defense, but then they had a pick 6 with Antoine Blake, who's now with the Titans. Just a bad pass, and that wasn't a good team by the Chargers last year by any means. But you know what I mean. They're very opportunistic. Good front seven. But Bud Dupree's not playing. He's on the PUP list for the first 6 weeks. But Arthur Motes played well last year. James Harrison had a revitalized year. Hopefully Jarvis Jones, their 2013 first overall pick, can help out more than he has. He's slowly gotten better. Hopefully they didn't pick up his option, so this is a really make it or break a year for them. Really, the secondary is going to be key, so we'll see how that really works for them. I do have Pittsburgh winning, but that's not because I'm a fan. I do think they have more going for them, more sound, but they make mistakes, so they very well can lose this game.
I have Pittsburgh winning too, and for one reason. I'm facing Kirk Cousins tonight on my fantasy team.
Yeah, I have Brown, D'Angelo, and Boswell playing in I think either 2 or all 3 of my leagues.
Oh, matter of fact, I was talking to you about this before Thursday's show. Mm-hmm. I was asking you if I should start Derek Carr or Carson Palmer. Guess what? I started Derek Carr, and it worked out for me.
There you go.
It worked out for me.
Yeah, I remember I told you I didn't know if I should start Kelvin Benjamin. Yeah. Well, I started him, and it worked out for me. The only person I left on my bench was Willie Snead, really. And he
my God, why'd you do that?
Because you never know with the Saints receivers. But I played Benjamin and Fitzgerald, so could have got worse, right?
Honestly, though,
the only player I could have put him in for was Hearns, and you don't sit Hearns after the year he had last year. You never know with Willie Snead.
I'll
probably start him next week.
Yeah, okay. But anyways, moving on to the nightcap. That is the Los Angeles Rams at the San Francisco 49ers, Levi Stadium. Mm-hmm. It is the home opener for the Rams, who are playing their first game in L.A.
No, it's not Niners game.
No, I know, but who are playing their first game as the L.A. Rams.
Oh, sorry. You said in L.A.
My bad.
It's okay.
As the L.A. Rams. For the first time since, I think, 94. And then...
Yeah, over 15 years.
It's been over 15 years. And, of course, this is the first game for Chip Kelly as the Niners head coach.
Oh, wait, sorry. Yeah, I'm sorry. I was confused.
What are you doing?
Yeah, sorry. No. 7:20 start. Don't forget that. It's a late game.
It's
10:20 if you're on the East Coast.
Yeah, 7:20.
Yeah.
And this game, the Rams are favored by 2.5.
Yeah, it's a pretty close
one.
one.
But honestly, though, it pains me to see that this is the finale of Week 1. After such a great week, dude, why do we have this? Why do we have this game?
Like, it should be
late?
Flip-flop, because at least it would be in LA then. You know what I mean? Have a primetime game and start the year in LA. That would
honestly,
save
though, for the East Coast people, you're so glad you don't
Just
have
go
to
to
watch.
sleep.
Just go to sleep. You're not gonna miss nothing.
Those poor St. Louis fans, if they
know.
carried over.
I know, right? Oh man.
I know. Yeah, for this game, I talked about it with Ben. The Rams are always a team to spoil in the division, and now the Niners aren't the powerhouse of the division anymore to spoil. But I'm pretty sure they split their series last year. But the Rams aren't an easy win team.
No,
they're very
they're
similar
not.
teams too.
The thing about this game is the Rams. They're gonna have a heavy run game with Todd Gurley. Niners are gonna run the ball a lot with Carlos Hyde. He just got cleared from the concussion protocol. So it's going to be a smash-mouth football game. Pretty much, you're going to laugh at this.
Okay,
I see the Niners winning 6-3.
6-3. Okay, I see
kidding,
Todd Gurley. Come on, man.
I'm kidding. It's not going to be that low. I was just discrediting these teams here. But no, man, I do see Todd Gurley having a great game against the 49ers defense, who really couldn't stop anybody last year. I actually think the Niners are going to have a good game offensively. I do think so because, the Rams defense is tough. Don't get me wrong. But this is a division game, and, usually division games are really competitive. Mm-hmm. And I just don't see the Niners coming out flat at home for the home opener because we saw it last year with the Niners home opener against the Vikings. They won 20-3, and then they just couldn't do anything after that.
And the Vikings made the playoffs.
Exactly. So. But... So this game's going to be close throughout. It's going to be competitive. I see,
2-3.
I do see Blaine Gabbert, playing really decent. Especially, he's perfect fit for Chip. Well, not perfect fit, but he's a good fit for the Chip Kelly offense. Carlos Hyde, I see him having a good game. Tarek Lutter's going to have I think he's going to have a great game because, I don't see Case Keenum having a explosive game at all. He's going to be the game manager. So yeah, man, I see that. I see the Niners winning this game, starting the season at home with a win, and they'll be in first place in the NFC West, baby. Let's go.
Okay, well, I have the Niners winning.
Yeah.
No, I have the Rams. I think the Rams are a little bit more sound. There's less questions. You know what you're going to get from Case Keenum. He's looked pretty good in the preseason. You have Todd Gurley, who's probably the best running back in the division right now, I would say. Purely because he's just, you don't know who's really going to run the ball for Seattle. Carlos Hyde has been up and down, but can he stay healthy?
For San Francisco, you said Seattle.
Yeah, no, I'm saying the whole division.
Oh.
I don't know really who, in that sense, who's going to run the ball for them, right? I don't know. Carlos Hyde, can he stay healthy? You know what I mean?
That's a big question.
And then David Johnson, I would say probably he's good, but the whole offense is good too. So
yeah,
I see a little bit more of him.
Well, it's because David Johnson, he's in a good system, so that's why he's so successful.
Yeah, so I need to see a little bit more of him, but he's just as good.
Yeah.
But I would say Gurley's probably the best overall back in the division.
Oh, by far.
Yeah, so you have him, and I'd say the defense is probably a little more sound on all of the levels as opposed to the linebacker position's probably just as good for both teams. Alec Ogletree is very good. Obviously, Bowman's very good. Guess who the defensive special assistant is, though, with the Rams?
Who is it, Alex?
Mike Singletary.
Oh!
Yeah, he's helping out Alec Ogletree. I watched it all Hard Knocks.
Yeah, I know.
Their secondary is not bad. You know what I mean? They have some players there.
They have a good defense.
Yeah, and obviously they have that D-line, so crazy D-line.
No, is this the thing? The reason why I picked the Niners over the Rams is because, one, they're at home. Mm-hmm. Two, I don't see them coming flat after. And they honestly, they need something on the field. They need something. They need a win.
They need a better field.
Okay.
Sliding all around that thing.
They need you don't know how much a win
means. It would be big for them.
No, a win means so much for the Niners right now. They had so much distractions for the past few weeks. They got the Kaepernick thing making headlines everywhere.
True.
They got Bruce Miller, who got released because of assaulting a 7-year-old man. And then they got Anthony Davis contemplating retirement again, just like a few days. So they have...
You know what? I'm done with this. That was going to be fun.
But anyways, yeah, you got all these like drama surrounding San Francisco. Mm-hmm. So a win is a much needed for this team to pretty much salvage that away. I'm not saying that the Kaepernick thing's going to make any. Trust me, the Kaepernick news is going to be around all season. It's going to be around
especially
all season.
with how more people are doing.
It's going to be around all season. So they can't get away from that. They need to get away from all the other things.
Got to get away. Yeah.
They need to get away from all the things though. I'm not saying that the Niners are gonna have they're not gonna go on a roll here. I'm saying of season
they can get a win.
A win, they can get a win tonight because I do not see the Niners winning week 2 versus the Carolina Panthers. But yeah, this game is very important for the Niners for several reasons, on and off the field. So that's why I think they need a win.
Okay, so we're gonna take our last break, but I just want to give you real quick. I'll leave this with you. The lowest scoring Monday night game of all time. It's actually the Steelers are part of it, but it's not who I think is going to. I'm talking about your game. 3-0. That's the lowest scoring game ever. 3-0. They beat Miami in 2007. I guess the field was horrible.
Steelers won 3-0.
Yeah, and that Roethlisberger played too. He at one point he had 15 straight completions, but yes, the lowest scoring game ever is in a regular season. That's not Monday night. It was 3-0. New York beating Washington in 1993, just after I was born, as a matter of fact, a couple months later. And then there was a 0-0 tie in 1943, but that's 1943. Football was way different back then.
Yeah, very different.
But, yes, that's the year that the Dolphins went 0-11 at one point. So, 3-0. I don't think that's going to happen tonight, but you never know.
It will not.
I just want to let you know that's the lowest scoring game of all time.
Yeah, but I think the Rams and Niners game will be
It'll be competitive.
It'll be competitive and kind of low scoring. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
All right, we'll recap both these games tomorrow. But let's take our last break. We'll come back. We'll talk college football. Be right back here at the Golden State Media Concepts Football Podcast.
Do you want to be healthier, yet you just don't know what to do? All these shows telling you this and that, but nothing seems to work. Well, listen close. Golden State Media Concepts has got something great for you. The Health and Wellness Podcast dedicated to workout trends, healthy eating habits, diet, and everything about healthy living. Join us in our banters as we help you not just live life to the fullest, but live it to the healthiest.
All right, we're back here at the Golden State Media Concepts Football Podcast. So we're moving to college football, and we're going to update you on the AP Top 25 list. Number 1 is the same as it has been since the end of last season. That is Alabama. Still staying at number 1 after another win for their team.
But we got a new number 2, guys.
We have a new number 2, a new number 3, a new number 4, and a new number 5. So that is caused by who now is the current number 5. So Florida State moved up from 3 to 2, Ohio State from 4 to 3, Michigan from 5 to 4, and then from 2 all the way down to 5 is Clemson.
Yes.
Clemson won their game, but it was against an opponent who is not very good, and it was a very close game in an aspect of a number 2 team. So
it was 13-10 for 3 quarters.
Yeah.
It was ugly. It was ugly.
Yeah, unfortunately, that's what happens in the college football playoff bracket. You move down to 5 if you play like that, man. It ain't no joke. Houston stayed put right at 6. A good game playing against Lamar.
Yeah, Greg Ward. Yeah, without Greg Ward. Yeah, he had a shoulder injury, and if you're not going to have Greg Ward, put him. Yeah,
might as well play well.
You might as well play well. Come on, against a team that you should beat.
It's funny. I was reading the box score, and it was Lamar Houston. I was like, I know that guy. He's a player.
Hey, he plays for the. Hey, he's in the NFL.
Yeah.
Hey.
Stanford played. So Houston and Stanford and Washington all stayed put at 6, 7, and 8 in that order. Wisconsin moved up from 10 to 9. Louisville moved up from 13 to 10. Man. Another really good performance.
Oh, my gosh. Freaking Lamar Jackson. Wow. I'm telling you, I know it's only the first 2 weeks, but, man, Lamar Jackson has been.
Houston. Yeah, Lamar Jackson has been lights out.
Has been a lights-out player, and I wish I can get him on my fantasy team because he's been that good. Yeah. Dude, I am so excited for Louisville to play Florida State this week, and that was my game of the week.
That's going to be a good quarterback matchup right there.
That's my game of the week in college football.
Mm-hmm.
I'm stating it right now.
Okay.
I'm not going to tell you who wins because I'm going to say that for Friday.
Okay.
But that is my game of the week.
Okay.
That is my game I was looking forward to.
Okay.
And I don't know.
I can dig it. I'll probably watch it too.
I will watch it. But anyways,
I probably will. Anyways,
let's move on.
Okay, so 11 and 12 stayed the same. Texas and Michigan State. Number 16 from last week moved up to 13 with Iowa. 14's the same with Oklahoma. Didn't move. Just similar. Tennessee moved 2 spots up from 17 to 15. Georgia with a big drop from 9 to 16.
Yeah, after beating Nicholls State
by barely anything.
By 2 points.
Yeah, that'll do it. Yeah. That'll do, Pig. That'll do. Texas A&M moves up from 20 to 17 on a continued rise from their upset win last week, moving up the countdown even more. Notre Dame stays put as well as Ole Miss at 18 and 19. LSU moves up 1 spot from 21 to 20. Baylor moves up 2 from 23 to 21, as well as Oregon from 24 to 22. Florida and Arkansas stay put from last week at 23 and 24.
No, they weren't.
Oh, I'm sorry, they weren't ranked.
No,
sorry, I was looking at movement. They weren't ranked. They moved into the countdown from unranked to 24 and 23. Arkansas, you'll get into it in a second as to why they moved in there. And Miami stayed put at 25, so that's what it was. Arkansas moved into the top 25, Jeremiah.
After defeating TCU, the 15-ranked TCU, who dropped from the rankings completely. Mm-hmm. Arkansas defeated them 41-38, and that was a great game.
It was a very competitive game.
And honestly, TCU had a chance to win it too. They had a chance to win it. They had a chance to close it out, but they didn't.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's. I mean, that's the way the game. That's the way the cookie crumbles, though. You know. But I do have one for you. I have a really big one for you. Okay, you ready for this?
Yeah.
Are you ready for this?
Oh, I'm ready.
Are you ready?
Yes, just get to it already. Oh my gosh, get to it.
Man. Okay,
just get to it. All right.
There was a ranked team that fell this week.
Yes, there was.
They're no longer ranked either.
Mm-hmm.
And they fell in quite dramatic fashion. And that would be, I don't know. How about 22 Oklahoma State?
Yes, they did fall because Central Michigan beat Oklahoma State 30-27 with the play of the year, guys. And there's some controversy about this play, too.
Yes, it shouldn't have happened.
They said, it shouldn't have happened because apparently, I guess the refs just blew a call.
They gave him an extra down.
And they won because of that extra down.
Hail Mary.
And I remember when I saw it, I was actually watching the TV as it was happening.
Mm-hmm.
Man, I was like, what? What? I was blown away. I didn't know what to do with myself.
What?
I can't believe I saw it. I was like, whoa, play of the year.
It was a Hail Mary
lateral.
Hail Mary lateral to beat them as time expired. It was a pretty impressive play to say the least, Jeremiah. Like I said, I didn't get to see it live. Obviously, I saw it since. But, literally zeros on the clock. Quarterback steps up, throws it from about the 45, his own 45, weak arm, threw it back, guy cuts around, takes the long route into the end zone to win the game. A play, and barely gets in there, too. Central Michigan, for those of you who aren't familiar with the school, I believe.
They're in the MAC conference.
Jake Fisher went there, right?
Jake Fisher.
Or Eric Fisher, excuse me.
It's Eric Fisher.
Eric Fisher went there, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So a first-round pick, top 2-round pick, for those who, aren't familiar with the school as much. A little bit of notable.
Yeah, well, they're in the MAC conference, one of the lower tier of the Group of 5 conferences.
Yeah, you could say that. But it was a great game. Some good games this week, as a matter of fact. It wasn't as good as week 1, though. It really wasn't. In my opinion, it wasn't good.
It was not. It was literally.
It's hard to live up to that first week, though.
It was very slow. You know how I just hope the NFL week 2 isn't like how week 2 of college football is, because we were spoiled with NFL week 1, like we were spoiled with college football week 1. So
yeah, I mean, obviously we had a lot of the top teams. Like you said, Michigan 51-14 over UCF. Houston beat Lamar 42-0. Georgia won 26-24, and obviously had to drop because of that. But Texas A&M had a pretty close game. You could say 26. Sorry, I was looking at the other score. Texas A&M had a pretty close game. You could say 67-0. FSU put on another show, 52-0. Clemson only beat Troy by 6. Tulsa lost to Ohio State. Kind of close again. 48-3.
The Sun Belt Conference has been competed really well against power. about Power 5 teams because, Appalachian State, a team that I originally said that was an FCS without me knowing that they were in a Sun Belt Conference. They played well against Tennessee. And then you got South Alabama, who upset at Mississippi State on the road. Mm-hmm. And you got Troy, who put up a heck of a fight against the number 2 ranked team in the country. I don't know, man. The Sun Belt Conference has been pretty competitive this year against Power 5 teams.
Mm-hmm. You know what my question is, though, and this has nothing to do with what you said, but I did have a question based off of this week. How does Bama go from putting up 52 or something like that against a good Pac-12 USC team who had a good turnaround game this weekend to putting up 38 to 10 against Western Kentucky, the Hilltoppers? I don't. How does that work?
Why they're still number 1?
No. I mean, 38 points. That's it.
All I can say, Alex, is any given Sunday. Oh, Saturday.
No, I mean, it's not like they didn't win. I just mean like.
Oh, you mean like the differential of the
win. Like how did they not put up 100 points? Like I just don't get it sometimes, man. They
still won the game, Alex.
No, I'm not saying they didn't. I mean, for all I know, they decided to take a breather.
They probably
put up 52 because Lane Kiffin's like, yeah, whatever USC, I don't need you.
Probably.
You know I mean, like I said, USC came back and won 45-7.
It was Lane Kiffin's revenge game. So yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I mean, like I said, Utah State didn't stand a chance to USC. They needed to shake off some big problems. And they did.
They did.
But we're moving into hopefully another good week of college football.
We got really great games on tap. Like I said earlier, we got Florida State going on the road against Louisville. And that should be a great game. That is going to be a heck of an atmosphere there.
Mm-hmm. Houston at Cincinnati.
Yeah, on Thursday.
Mm-hmm. FSU playing Louisville, like you said, that's going to be a really good game like you were just saying. Wisconsin, they're playing an unknown team again. Miami, the youth playing Appalachian.
Yeah, they're playing on the road at Appalachian State, man. Yeah.
Do I smell an upset?
I don't know, man. I think I might.
Ole Miss is playing Bama, 2 ranked teams, 19-1. I have a heckling that Alabama's going to win.
And then we got Michigan State on the road. Yeah. Going against the Fighting Irish of Notre Dame.
And then they always looked towards good matchup between USC and Stanford. USC's now unranked, but they could very much give Stanford a run for their money.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Stanford hasn't looked powerhouse good, but they've looked good.
Yeah, and then you got Ohio State on the road against Oklahoma. Mm-hmm. And Oklahoma, this is a big game for Oklahoma now.
They need to win. They need to win, yeah. And then another good matchup, even though it's it hasn't been as good, it probably won't be as good. It's kind of flipped. Bad team last year, good now. Good team last year, bad now. Texas and Cal.
Yeah. Yeah, Cal just got upset by San Diego State, which was
San Diego State's a good team.
San Diego State's a good team.
We had them winning the Mountain West.
The Mountain West. You almost said Sun Belt.
I did because I just literally was listening to you say that. Yeah. But that's good. That should still probably be not a bad game. The Cal, they took a big drop when Goff left, so it's unfortunate. Excuse me. All right. Well, you have any other news for me today?
I do not. Do you?
No, man. I can't wait to talk tomorrow about
tomorrow.
all of the great stuff.
We got a
big day tomorrow.
We got a big day tomorrow.
Right, we're going to recap the games last night. We're going to update you. Probably talk a little bit about some stuff we didn't get to today. Some of the upcoming college football games. Not everything's on Saturday now. There are games earlier in the week. There are Friday games and a Thursday game, which is your team, boy, Houston. You're like a Houston fan now too.
I'm not.
Oh, shut up! You are. You're totally a Houston fan. But as always, go ahead.
I'm like Drake D. I'm on the bandwagon, bro.
Okay, Toronto Raptor fan. Okay, so as always, thank you guys for listening to the Golden State Media Concepts Football Podcast. You can find us on iTunes, SoundCloud, Stitcher, and Google Play if you search GSMC Football Podcast, as well as on YouTube and Facebook if you search GSMC Football Podcast. You can find us on on Instagram and Twitter, GSMC_football, and on our website, GSMCpodcast.com. Go on the portfolio, find our show. Jeremiah has appeared on the football show with me. He's also going to start doing fantasy football. You can listen to the Friday shows of football where Ben appears. I do football normally, but with him I do sports, and I do football. I do soccer.
Football. Yeah, and then I also do baseball.
With Ben.
Yeah, and then I'm not going to lie, though. Baseball, it's starting,
it's getting down to it.
It's hard to keep up the baseball with the NFL madness.
And college.
Yeah,
that's why I don't do fantasy baseball anymore. It's something you got to keep up with every single day.
I am done with fantasy baseball this year. I can't do it anymore.
This is my first year not doing it in a while. Well, I did it for 2 years, but I didn't do it this year or last year, and I was just done with it, man. I couldn't do it anymore. But always, I'd like to thank you guys for listening. I am Alex.
And I'm Jeremiah.
And we'll see you guys tomorrow for another jam-packed, action-packed show heading your way.